Okay, anyway, talking about technology, I got myself a new phone since the one I fried when I came back from WA, because they're all black these days in Western Mar. And I got a some fancy name, a Restia or something. I can't remember what it's called. It's an A something or other phone. It has almost like a dual meaning to the word. But my partner got a Pixel 6, I think it is, or something, because I only Sue had one, you see. So why is this person? Okay. Oh, so this person is pulling into this place that has the security camera and probably a light at night time that comes on when people walk past, which is upsetting the tree, sort of thing. Anyway, so yeah, walked. Might as well walk. Oh, I don't know. It's hard to say, really. Anyway, howdy. I've noticed your things blooming out of season. Yeah. You must have a light nearby or something. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a, hang on, have I got this right? Callistemon. I got it wrong last year when ours was blooming. What was I calling it? I forgot. I was calling it a Grevillea Robin Gordon or something. Grevillea Robin Gordons are very nice. I think the best one is the Kings Park Special. Look that one up. Grevillea Robin Gordon Kings Park Special, I think it's called. That's what it's called. There's a lot of new interesting stuff coming out of Kings Park, of course. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so you've got things in the 70s. Look out for Mission Brown. That's a telltale sign, because a lot of things were Mission Brown back in the 70s. So yeah, so you might just want to look into that sort of thing. Yeah, that was one. Basically, the two major colours in the 70s were Mission Brown and orange. And you might have got other colours as bonus special sort of thing, but basically, because the only colour that orange goes into is brown, of course. It clashes with, orange and blue will clash, because blue is basically the opposite of brown, but also blue and red and brown are not quite the same, and yeah, anyway, back vistas, there's a car coming, sorry. So look out for Mission Brown houses, they're probably from the 70s, and so this area wasn't basically built, really started to be built up until the early 80s, and a lot of interesting experimental, like young architects who would come down to the area and have their house built as a showpiece for their architectural styles and ideas and plans for the future, and they invite the clients round to their house and, do you want another one of these, basically? Or, you want this room and this end of the house and all, and this one over here and so on and so forth, and, I've got a new idea for this, and the usual thing that architects do. But, instead of going down there, I might just nip down here so you have something, different visually to look at. And so we'll go past the old bike track, the BMX bike track that became the international standard down here in southern Abbotland, yeah. Tony Abbott, failed priest, aka Dr. No. And of course then we got the Labour in for a little while. The Labour came in first, and then we had all this shenanigans going on, and the Greens wouldn't do a deal with Labour, and What do they say? Perfection is the enemy of the good, or something, some phrase like that. I don't know who actually said that, but you know, holding out until they got everything they wanted, and we got nothing in the end. So basically the Greens, you know, buggered us in the arse basically, and we've had nearly 13 years of no really direction on solar or anything like that. We've got shit broadband, thanks to Tony Abbott, you know, wanting to go back to the 1950s sort of thing. Oh, things were fine back in the 1950s, yeah, right. So you had the Great Depression that affected this country worse than any other country, and lasted for longer than any other country on the planet, basically, due to the fact that, you know, we're so far away and isolated from the rest of the... Well, that's rather interesting. What are they doing? Oh, okay, melting the bitumen, that's rather interesting. Anyway, quite picturesque. We've got a bit of littage coming out now, so you probably like that. And the creek, well, that will flow soon, once we get the first rains, and it'll get going, and then it'll flow for quite a while, and then it'll dry up again, and we'll... Some nice utes there. Oh, I bet it's gone back to... No, we are on 49, yeah. And, of course, we might have an idea there. When it does flow quite well, you can get some fall away or droppage from the side there, and that might explain how the banks of the creek are so wide, you know. So, yeah, back vistas. Yeah, nice littage. And we'll just walk down by the tennis courts here, and then go on down a normal track that we walk down, just for something a bit different. Yeah, a bit more falling away there, down there on the side of the creek. Yeah. Is that a bin chicken? Is that a bin chicken? Yeah, quite a lot of bin chickens actually have moved into the area, so yeah. Yeah. Well, that was quite good actually. Whoever did that sound was pretty good. It almost sounded like that. It was in the same sort of pitch and tone as the treaty song. Oh yeah, I saw a couple of chaps doing the treaty song on NITV the other night. Oh, it's brilliant. You know, just as good as the original. You know, really good. So yeah. As I say, if you get the Aborigines have got fantastic memories. I've checked it out. It's true. It's just unbelievable. I believe the women have better memories than the blokes, but they just put on a show to not offend the blokes, sort of thing. And when you sit them down with a pallet load of pastels, yeah, Flanders and Swan, a pallet load of tar blocks, a pallet load of pastels, you'll get some strange, very colourful thing, and you think that's crazy. But when you go out and look at the scenes they're predicting, no, it's spot on, you know. Yeah, especially when they do snow and stuff like that, you know, from the alpine areas or things like that, on natural bush. It's just fantastic. You think they're using the pastels in crazy ways, but when you actually go out, it's true to life colour. It's amazing. I saw this thing on Landline where they showed native painting with pastels. It was just brilliant. I was just, you know, yeah, absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, good on them. I mean, it's fantastic, you know. And of course, we got the idea of dot matrix painting. I mean, where do you think that came from? Then we've got the bowling club. We used to go down the side of that, but as you can see, everything's sort of starting to get that sort of look, and we're heading into the wet, which basically from the 21st onwards. Yeah. As I was saying again, we'll go back to this. I've got myself a Asperia or something. you know, not a spur. It's like you've got aspirations. It's an Asperia or something like that, some phone like that. Whereas my partner's got the same one as Auntie Sue. She was so impressed by the one that Auntie Sue had, the camera ability. And yeah, she tried it out on the birds out the front. Barkids for you, if you haven't seen Aussie eucalypts. We got, well, in the old books they used to say 4 major types, but I think there's basically 6 major types actually, you know, because, you know, in the old days they couldn't really get around the continent the way they can these days, and of course, you know, everyone's connected via shitty broadband at the moment. Oh, there's crazy things going on, like people putting in their phones in plastic bags and running them up a flagpole to gain signalage or signal, you know. Yeah, it's just crazy things. Nice bit of litage there for you. Yeah, pan and pause. And we go here. And this thing here, I don't know, call it a sluice way, I suppose. Starting to flow now. It's very steep here. I don't know if I can get down and give you a... It would be nice to get down without breaking a leg. Just take it. I'm in Crocs, fellas, don't forget to cut me some slack. Or if I can get down to the sill or the lil or something, I can... It's level and I can... So, get some nice footage there. Down there, sort of thing. Might try... hang on. Now I can do this down here on these nice little flaggies. I'll just go to spot colouring and we'll try a few tricks. Or let's try ruling the colour focus right there, all the way down, and then we'll come back up. Sorry if that was a bit quick for you. We'll go for spot colouring, so that means everything in should be in focus at the front, and we'll turn around. Now when this starts growing that green algae and moss and other stuff, then it's absolutely deadly, so do not walk on this once that starts growing. So go to general trace, or rule on the colour focus as we used to call it. I don't know how far we can go down, but there you go. That's enough fart arsing around for today. And since I can get across here, we'll go this way, I think. And hopefully I turn off the sprinkler system now. We're getting into the wet, and mere back vistas. So yeah, as I said, my partner's absolutely impressed by this camera that Auntie Sue had, and now she's doing the same, and she's wowing her friends on Facebook with photographs of our native birds. Went down to the shop to get a ladder, put the ladder and the barcode thing in there. It was like looking through a pane of glass. Couldn't fault the colours, and the bloke was able to use the barcode. It's that good that he was able to scan the barcode from the phone, from the picture that was on the phone. Oh, here we are. Nice little banksia here. Of course, it'll be flowering later on in the season. So let's go to spot colouring. And yeah, semi-old one from last. The brown ones are from last season. The darker ones are from probably the previous season. See, those ones from the last season down in there. And of course, you got the teddy. You can get the teddy bear, because they all open up after a bushfire, or if you pull them off and put them in an oven or something like that. Yeah, so you can see those ones are from last season, whereas the other ones are from previous season. And we got new ones developing there. They'll be coming up into this season. I believe so anyway. I could be wrong there, but... And these can grow to quite amazing heights. And of course you have even bigger ones too. You have the true teddy bear ones. You also have the prostrate, the ones that are on the ground. And they can be like this sort of size or bigger. And then you have the really massive teddy bear ones that you can't even put your hand around. So, you know, they're interesting. You want to look those up. And has anyone tried hybridising these things with the South African ones? You know... So yeah, anyway, let's go back to 49 area. Okay, back to the international news, I suppose. The the West, or Zelensky. I call him Zelensky because if you take the Z off, isn't it strange how his name begins with a Z and all the Russian trucks have a Z on them? Isn't that strange? So yeah, that's just something I sort of spotted. I don't know if you spotted that his name begins with a Z, and yet all the Russian tanks are coming in with the first initial of his surname on there, sort of thing. And it's sort of like, we're coming for you. But yeah, apparently, as I say, according to Zelensky, so YouTube doesn't have any trouble with their algorithms. Apparently they're putting all these javelins into shopping centres and something, putting in their weapons stores. And a video's come out of the Russians hitting this shopping centre with a missile, and it just goes in initially, and then there's whopping 3 or 4 massive explosions afterwards. No shopping centre would normally, even with a gas-filled shopping centre, a gas leak or something like that. Well, with a gas leak, you just get one major explosion usually, don't you? Because it just propagates through the whole. It propagates through the whole. That's a paper, not paper bark, a maluka. What's it called? Not stringy bark. Tea tree sort of thing. It's not a tea tree, but what's it called? This is called paper bark, but it's not actually. It's got another name. I've forgotten now. Anyway, having a seniors moment. So you can see the bark is on this. So we have all these so-called black butts, iron bark. Well, that means usually the iron, and we have iron woods. So in other words, inside the internal timber of the tree, it's very, very dark, red to brown sort of thing. But you can see here, and then you get all this sort of, let's go to spot colour, because you won't believe it otherwise, with a bit of sunlight on it, and you'll get this oozing resin, sap or resin I suppose, coming out, and the sunlight going through it in the middle of the wet. Absolutely fantastic. So we'll probably be back for that later on in the season. And so the eucalypt is the one tree that's spread right through this continent, coastal continent, somewhat of a sand island, I suppose, if you take in the internal deserts, I suppose. A lot of coastal sandy areas around the whole coastline of, Australia, where we tend to call it Abbott Land now, because we're trying to get the message across to these numbskulls that we want the future. We don't want to go back to the 1950s and be having problems with reds under the bed and all that sort of stuff. As I said, we're all basically finding out it's all a load of bullshit, basically, with the amount of money they're shipping over to Ukraine from America. Very, very strange. They just sort of, we want 33 billion. It turns out to be $40 billion. I mean, we spent 270 billion on the plandemic, scamdemic, what do you want to call it here? And we paid it off in a year and a half because the iron ore price is so high. So quite a lot of people are worried about all this money we spent on the. No, it's already been paid off by the iron ore price. So we could do that again. We could actually spend another 270 billion on the country if we wanted to, because the iron ore prices are so high. Why don't we have a policy whenever the iron ore price is this high or whatever? Okay, you don't have to pay tax this year sort of thing, but you've got to spend 270 billion on the country. How about it? We could do deals with these massive companies. You don't want to pay tax, fine, but when we have a good year and the iron ore price is high, you're going to spend $250 billion. These are billions. Sorry, we were talking billions here. $270 billion on various places we've chosen that the country needs to work on. How about that, You're also shoddy about paying your taxes. Well, can we do it a different way, change the social contract. If you want to change the social contract, yeah, if you do it in their favour, fair enough, you know. But yeah, maybe we'll just walk down here, because you've seen that side down there. We'll go into places. So, you know, I don't know. There's something majorly wrong over there, because NATO isn't sending troops. They're using proxies, and we've had like the Dutch